Good day and welcome everybody to Crypto Mondays on Zoom. It's the 24th of March, and this is our global thought leadership with Crypto Mondays. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Swarm. We have a partnership with them. We have a long-standing relationship with them. They're very genuine in terms of their decentralization and privacy. They have a suite of decentralized services, and we're building products together with them in an advisory capacity with them, and they've been supporting Crypto Mondays. They founded Crypto Mondays Budapest, and we've launched live streaming with them, and we just want to give a shout out to them and to thank them for supporting us. Forthcoming attractions, not next week, the following week, we have Gregor, formerly Swarm Foundation and now with Data Fund. He's a champion of decentralized technology. In a nutshell, Data Fund is giving you consistent memory across your different AIs. Currently, they're siloed and they've produced a product that can ring fence it and make it consistent across the AIs that you use. Then after that, a date still to be confirmed is Kyle Rojas. He's institutional lead for the Americas for the Ethereum Foundation. That should be a good one too. And then we just call any featured guest, any of you to propose featured guests for us. People to talk about their passions, their journey, insights, trends, technologies, sharing their thought leadership with us, and stimulating thought and conversation. It's no shilling. Our mission is educational, and in the True Mondays, the Crypto Mondays ethic, we're helping our community to learn, earn, and connect. Then, is there anybody who'd like to make an announcement? They've got a product launch, capital raised, they have a new job that would like to have a quick shout out before we continue with the talk?
How do I raise my hand? Reaction. No. Can you hear me?
Can hear you clearly?
Cool.
Is that John?
I'm going to put in the chat a private AI that we developed with Manifest and Render and Venice and Morpheus. It's free and it's pretty cutting edge, so everyone should use it and check it out. It's as good as some of these paid models, but we're not charging anything because we're getting free access to these LLMs. And we're going to be using it with Crypto Mondays to hopefully power Agent Monday. But you can check it out once I put it in the chat here. That's everything.
That's brilliant, John. Thanks so much. John is of Sarsen Funds. We've been working with him for many years. And thank you for supporting us. That's great.
Of course. You guys are the best. It's where I find all the best projects to invest in.
Beautiful. Thank you, John. Anybody else like to have a shout out?
Yeah, I'll quickly go. It's been a minute since I've been on. Just launched a new venture called Autonomous Lab AI. I'll put this in the chat as well. It's pretty far outside of crypto and blockchain, but obviously the AI narrative is close to all of us. It's a molecule discovery platform where we're using AI to discover new novel molecules. We've discovered a carbon capturing molecule that we're deploying in the energy sector. There are some, possible blockchain applications for this, especially as we're looking at, data provenance, governance, things like that. But I'm excited to be back here. Miss you guys. That's
Thanks very much,
a lot.
Elijah. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Marie, did I see Marie next?
Yeah, thank you. This is my first time attending. I'm with AI 2030. Just wanted to, we're a nonprofit that focuses on responsible AI and innovation. We've started a working group for blockchain, crypto, and AI. So I'll put in the chat how to get in touch with us and with me. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Marie. That's awesome. Ty?
Lou, oh, go ahead.
It's time. Well, that's how I go by. It's TYMED, teaching young minds every day. My next venture been Azos Finance. It's a stable coin, AZ USD. It's helps to with like regenerative assets, like biochar, carbon credits, solar power. Been doing stuff with that, and continually do a lot of things with the silver RWAs. Yeah, and going to be looking towards a consensus with a few different people I'm inviting to come with me for women and minorities.
Congratulations. That sounds awesome. Anybody else? Is it Jay?
Hey everyone.
Welcome, Jay.
Yeah, so I'm Jay Berg, founder of SidePit. We're an exchange that lets institutions and AI agents execute without the front running and flash crashes like October 10th. And we have a patented solution. We're doing a quick angel round right now for people that want to get in. And we're starting with Bitcoin. So the company's SidePit, and we're solving manipulation in exchanges.
Thanks so much, Jay. Will you put it in the chat?
Will do.
Great. Right. Well, thank you, everybody. Let's rock and roll. I'll put these in the chat so we don't have to go through them, but just join the Crypto Mondays Collective. All sorts of things going on, a lot more than is happening here. So we'd love to have you on board if you aren't with us already. And then we're building Agent Mondi. Alan, who's on the call here, co-hosting with me, he is taking control of that, and it's coming out shortly in the next week or two. We'll be piloting Agent Mondi. So please put your name down on the waitlist. It's on the homepage of CryptoMondays.io. And then join our Zoom calendar so that you could be notified of all of these events. I think you will get notified anyway, but if you'd like to do a proper job, then click on the link and join us, and you'll be notified of the next featured guests coming up. And then, yes, over to Tomer, who's our featured guest for the day. Well, actually, not just yet over to Tomer, because I think Lou's going to have a couple of words, but just a few words on Tomer. Part of the Bancor team that invented the AMM, and he's a pioneer in decentralized finance. And he's CEO and co-founder of Textile, which is turning the fragmented private credit market into an internet native market. I'm sure you'll do a better job of me than explaining on what he's up to, and a general partner at Flori Ventures. So Lou's going to just have a couple of words, and then we'll hand it over to Tomer. Lou, over to you.
It looks like Lou is on a call.
We lost him?
Give him 1 second here.
Okay.
Sorry about that. No, hey, sorry, I was just muted. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Cool.
No, I was just saying that I thought that the molecule thing by Elijah was super interesting. And in any case, excited to have Tomer hear from Tomer today. He's really one of my favorite people in crypto. I met him super early in my journey when I heard about Bancor, the original AMM, which totally blew my mind. And since then, he's going to tell you about his journey. But through Tomer, I got involved with Cello community, which is a really awesome community in crypto. And now I'm super excited about his new thing, Textile, and I'm excited for everybody else to hear about it. So with that, welcome, Tomer.
Absolutely fabulous. Thank you, Tomer. Over to you. I'm going to stop sharing. If I can work out how to do that. Stop share. There we go.
Thank you.
You got the
And
floor.
thanks. Yep. And thank you, Lou, for the warm word. I think we know each other 9 years by now, 8, something like
it's
that. So
9, probably close to 9 years.
close to 9 years. So we went through one or two things. Let me share a bit of my story here, and then how that brought me into building Textile. So I've been economics nerds from a very early stage. I was one of those people who had a very hard opinion on how finance should behave, how the economic world should behave, until my father asked me a few hard questions, and I went to university to study some economics, always with the idea of, okay, there must be a better alternative. One of those naive people. That's how in 2015, 16, I went down the rabbit hole of blockchain, crypto with Ethereum, and I think it was Dan Larimer who converted me fully into understanding what smart contracts are. Built a community currency in the beginning, and then worked at Banco, one of the early team members.
I'm sorry, Tomer. For those who don't know who that was who taught you about smart contracts.
Dan Larimer. Okay, so Dan Larimer is the founder of EOS. I think that's the most known thing. Paid the $5 billion back in the glorious ICO days. Dan was also the founder of Steam. I think that was the first social network to give incentives to writers. I think since then, many people have done that. But for me, it was that moment when I understood smart contract of, we can navigate incentives to whatever it is that the new economy that we want to build around. Other than that, he was the first one to deploy a proof of stake blockchain. Also, many other things that. Anything I missed, Lou?
No, just obviously a super epic individual.
Yes, a super epic individual. And later, architect of Good Dollar and a GP at Flori Ventures. Flori Ventures is a VC investing in the intersection of blockchain and emerging markets. Our main use case was stablecoins adoption, that I think today is one of the main adoptions, one of the main use cases that we see in emerging markets and blockchain usability. And a lot of our investment, many people pivot. So a lot of the fintech companies who wanted to use blockchain initially pivoted to more classic finance, and were very successful on closing credit gaps, if it's microfinance, if it's trade finance, lending to exporters and farmers. If they were really good at closing the last mile of finance. But then when they wanted to raise real amount of money so they can actually solve the problem, this is where they met the true price of capital. So companies, super successful, super profitable, are going and are trying to raise now a credit line of $10, $20 million, and they meet a price of capital of 23%, 20%, 25% from the serious debt funds that are walking around. And initially, I thought, it's easy to think of it as just greediness of that problem to be. Okay, there is lack of capital, why not raise the prices? But as you go down the rabbit hole of understanding what is the problem of supply chain of capital, of credit, you understand that if you really want to keep your money safe, all the safeguards and all the structures that you do cost a lot of money to be created. And I will talk about those structures in a second. But going down that rabbit hole, I understood, well, a lot of the structures that I meet here that are allowing people to keep their capital safe are things that can be replaced from legal contracts and operational costs to smart contracts. We've seen it in the past with automated market makers. You no longer need a market making firm in order to bootstrap the liquidity of your asset. So that basically got me a little bit too obsessed with the problem of the supply chain of credit to the mainly emerging markets. And the main focus became a thing called trust. We will talk about the trust in a second. I want to take another step back and explain who are we. So we're basically Textile. Textile is a private credit network. Our idea is to say we want anyone, anywhere, to be able to tokenize a credit line with all the infrastructure that is needed for institutional level, just with a few clicks of a button. If we believe we can replace some of the traditional structures with smart contracts, then it means we can make those tools accessible to anyone around the world. Please, if anyone has questions, stop me, because if you didn't understand something, 10 other people didn't understand it as well. So first, I want to show you a little bit of the product, if it's okay. Can I share my screen? Yes, I can. So at the most basic level, this is the staging environment, and this is the real product. It's connected, just a second. So we launched a product about a month and a half ago. It looks like another marketplace of private credit, but there is a one little difference. Any other private credit type of product that you'll see out there, if you want to become a borrower, you're going to have to go to the company and ask them, hey, can you guys underwrite me? Can you allow me to be on your website? Can you allow me to use your tools? In Textile, we look at that from the opposite side. You want to become a borrower, you want to open yourself a pool, click open a new credit line, give your company name, your entity name, what sector are you borrowing at, where are you from, and so on. I can't move those things around. Which token are you raising the capital at? What's the interest rate? Few other settings those are the actual settings that making you deploy the smart contract in the structure that you want. Maximum pool size, redemption period, meaning if someone wants his capital back, how often are you going to give him your capital? What's the minimum deposit size? What's the interest payment intervals that you are going to pay? Legal contract if you want to add to it. Next. And that's it. You are a glad owner of a new smart contract that allows you to have all the tools that you need in order to manage a credit line for your fintech company, whatever it is that will be needed. But the issuance of a token is only one part of it, okay? If we imagine that the Etsy example, issuance of a token is only showing what goods and services are you selling. The actual inventory and the back is the juice of it. So let me take you to the juice of it. First, we need to understand what is the problem that the juice is serving. So let's take me as an example. I am a company in Latin America that is giving loans against trade bills. So farmers or exporters are exporting. They have a trade bill. I give them loans. They give me the trade bill. I give them a loan against it. But at some point, my capital on my balance sheet runs out because, I have more demand than I can answer. I can go to investors. I go to Lou. I go to Jay, to Robin, and I ask them, hey, guys, can you lend me some money? So initially, everybody will think it's a great idea. I'll just lend the company some money, and the company will lend it to the end borrower. But it's not, because I am exposed to risks that I didn't want to take. I am exposed to the risk of the company going bankrupt. I'm exposed to mismanagement of funds. The company might get sued. This is why in traditional finance, the idea of a trust was invented. Trust is basically a separate entity, an SPV, that capital providers will deploy their capital into the trust. The trust will be managed by a trustee. And the job of the trust has two things. One, holding the debt in order to make sure that if the company goes bankrupt, the debt is still on zero. In our story, it's the trade bill. Okay. The second is to create a waterfall of payment, meaning we want to make sure that things happen in a very certain order to make sure nobody can steal money or money will disappear in between. Problem with that type of structure, depending on how complicated your trust is, what is the structure of the waterfall, who is getting paid first and what, that will cost you between $50,000 to $500,000. And it will take you between 3 to 6 months to set up. Now, waterfall of payments is something that is very simple. This is why Textile is building automated trusts. We are trying to do the same as did in the past for market makers, but for the idea of a trust. And what is a trust? A decentralized trust in that sense, automated trust. The idea is that a capital provider, me and you, simple people who want to put in their money, can put their money into the trust. The fintech company who wants to use this capital as working capital to be lending to end borrowers will be assigning the debt, the ownership of the debt, if it's a trade bill, if it's the invoice-backed lending, if it's whatever it is that we name it, assign it to the pool that is also managed by an underwriter. And that way we can have the same ring fencing of risk that a traditional trust gives us, but at zero setup cost. And just in minutes, what you guys just seen is basically a trust that I set up. Do I have more time to show an example of a full flow of a trust?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So let me show you one of the. So obviously we start with more native blockchain problems. So before I show the trust, I want to explain the problem that is more native to the blockchain space. I am an on and off ramping company in Colombia. I get USDT and my end user wants COP. They want Colombian peso. In order for me to convert $500,000 of USDT to COP, it will take me about 2 days to do that. But my users don't want to wait 2 days. My user wants to sort like the capital now. So what I do, I take a loan in COP in order to give it to my end user. I take now the USDT, I convert it into the loan route, and I close my loan. Or my other option is asking the end user to wait for me. This thing today happening with traditional trust, I want to show you how does Textile Trust solves exactly that problem just in a matter of minutes. So this, okay. This is our trust, the same as we saw that I deployed a second ago. The trust, the borrower of the trust is off-ramp USDT to PropM, name the company, let's call it company X. The capital provider, the one who is written as the underwriter, deployed 100K of COPM. So we have capital now that is available for the company to borrow, but we can see that I didn't change the draw limit. Let me update that just a second. I am the manager of this one. The beginning of the story should start with a borrowing limit of 1 COP. Sorry. Obviously, when you want to make the presentations, everything goes wrong. Okay, so we start the story where the drawing limit of the borrower is of 10 COP. Now, let's go over the story. This is what we call the settlement layer, okay? So comes the end user, or the company, let's call it, the company or the end user, and they want to deposit USDT in order to get, in return, immediate COP. So to copy the wallet address of the settlement wallet, send it 10 USDT for the sake of the story. And now I am playing the role of the capital provider, the pool manager now. I am the one who is taking the collateral. And here we go. The balance of 10. Just a second, I'll take it, refresh. It will come up. Okay. Wait, there's another one that needs to come up. Obviously, all the bugs comes up when you try to present. Okay, we have already the settled loan here, the one I did a second ago. I don't know why now it doesn't go up. Doesn't matter. Let's go over the settled loan and understand the process. So I am the trust manager, the one who puts the 100K. What happened now is that I got 10 USDT to the trust wallet. The first thing I do is I approve the draw limit I allow now the borrower to borrow, let's say, 95% of the value that he deposited into the pool. The borrower is getting notified. I withdraw the USDT from the pool. Now the borrower has the loan that he took in COPAM, that's the stable coin of COP, and I have the USDT. The borrower, the on and off ramping company, can convert the COPAM immediately to COP. I take it, and now I have the 2 days to go and close the settlement. Okay, I pay it back to the pool. Oh, here we go. Now it came up. Let me go over it. So I approve the draw limit. Now the borrower can borrow the COPAM that he needed in order to do the instant settlement with the end user. I withdraw the capital. This is the collateral that was given to the trust from the pool. Now I can take it through the long route in order to close the settlement. Whenever I'm ready, it took me 2 days to do that. I repay the COPAM. I am the one to close the loan to the pool. I'm taking you through a route that's supposed to take 2 days in a few minutes. And I decrease the borrower's ability to borrow capital from the pool. Obviously, problems. Let me stop here. So too much. But I decrease the ability of the borrower to borrow capital from the pool. And that's it. We close the full settlement of the borrower to be able to give instant liquidity to its end users. Now, the same process that we just did now with a little bit of bugs, as they say, if you're not a little bit embarrassed by your first product, you launched too late, will take days in a traditional fund involving lawyers, CFOs, and high cost. We just did it in a few clicks of a button that is managed by a smart contract. You know that at no point anyone can borrow capital or take capital before the order of the waterfall that was predefined by all the actors in the pool. That is basically it. Questions?
So, super cool stuff. Oops, sorry.
Wait, let me take the dog out. They're crazy.
Sorry. When you talk about kind of where you are in terms of deployment, right? You're live now. You're out there. What are you learning? What's happening? Can you hear me?
Can you hear Tomer? Can you hear Lou?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Did you talk to me?
Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
I said you're out there. You're live. I know it's been a brief while, but what have you learned in kind of in the brief time that you've been live, and kind of what's kind of on the roadmap, and where do you hope to be in a year?
Yes. So I very intuitively went into less native crypto lending problems. And I think in hindsight, it's been a month. It makes a lot of sense that I need to go after the more native private credit problems.
Hey, hold on a second. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. I think they were muted.
Yeah. So this is the first understanding. Like, I should go at these early stages only after super native private credit problems. That's the main understanding. Second, I understood the size of the problem that I described. The settlement layer of instant liquidity between crypto and fiat world is a huge problem that many are touching from multiple directions. We are doing it as an infrastructures and not as lenders. So this is what I learned very quickly since the moment we touch is a matter of focus. We want to focus more on more crypto native private credit problems. So that was the first question, what we learned. What was the second question?
And
what do you want to see yourself? Yeah.
So and what are those markets?
So it's mainly the float capital when crypto and fiat meet. So on and off ramp, let's go over that problem again. I get fiat. I need to give crypto immediately. On and off boarding company, they don't have the liquidity to do it. They need to borrow it. I am a cross-border company. I got someone transferred money. I don't actually have the money immediately. I need to borrow it. I am a tokenization and a stock tokenization platform. You want to redeem your Apple stock. It will take me now 2 days to redeem it in the real world. You want instant liquidity, I need to borrow it. So everywhere crypto meets the real world, there is a float capital problem.
No, makes a lot of sense. Obviously, massive market, and exciting. Somebody's going after it. Not too different, I guess, than what it was like, going after centralized exchanges once upon a time.
Exactly.
If anybody else has a question, it's obviously something that's complex, and I've thought about it, because I've talked about it before. Sure, more than most of the other folks on the call. But if anybody has a call, feel free to raise a hand and ask Tomer a question.
Alex asked a question. So Alex asked, what is the difference between what you're describing and what WISE or other PSPs are doing? So the PSPs are the customers. The PSPs are the one who's actually borrowing the capital. And Alex, if you're on the call, maybe come up and just to make sure that I understood your question. But the PSPs are actually the borrowers in our stores. They're the one who are missing float capital. Did I answer your question, Alex? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just asking, I see some PSPs like Stripe or checkout.com that use stablecoins to settle. So the stablecoin sandwich as an example. So I was wondering whether this was kind of similar, where you got sort of merchant or corporate on one side and the merchant on the other. And this is all helping to facilitate the settlement or the velocity of the settlement.
So as I said, those are the examples of our big customers. They would also be using a credit line in order to do that immediately. Same answer. They are the one offering instant settlement, but in order to do it, they're using a private credit line in order just not to be holding such huge amounts of money on their balance sheets. So we are exactly the infrastructure for those type of solutions. So everybody could offer those same instant settlements offers.
Thank you. And how would you manage, I suppose you're holding the settlement risk, and how do you manage kind of refunds, chargebacks, things like that?
On crypto?
Well, in terms of, let's say you are facilitating the settlement of two parties, but let's say there is a dispute. How do you handle that?
So the thing is that can't be a dispute. First of all, we're a decentralized system. We're just a smart contract. And the reason there can't be a dispute is, first of all, we don't exist. The same as Uniswap doesn't exist. We're just a set of rules and smart contracts, right? Every interaction that is happening between the parties they need to have their own legal relationship. We're just an operational tool to make their relationship much easier and smoother than it was before. Okay? So first of all, in order not to have disputes, there's immutability of the waterfall. If we decided on the waterfall that you can borrow only after USDT is deposited to the pool, and you can borrow at X LTV with us determining that this is the oracle that will decide on the conversion rate. Once you you deployed that automated trust, it's fully immutable. So there might be a dispute between them, but the smart contract is something they both agreed on and both signed with their own wallet in order to join that smart contract agreement between them. So that's on the dispute side. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Is it potentially similar to buy now, pay later to run a parallel or not really?
Well, again, buy now, pay later will be our customers in that sense. Like buy now, pay later are fintech companies who are giving loans to end customers. They take private credit lines, and in order to take today in the classic world private credit lines, they will do it from classic credit facilities that will be a traditional fund, what I just described with the $50 to $500,000. So we are instant liquidity solution for any finance company that you'd imagine. Going more specifically on private credit problems within blockchain space.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. And I was asking before about kind of the roadmap and kind of where you think you'll be in a year.
So I think there is what we do now and where we want to be in a year. And
Yep, hold on a second. Hey, Steve, I'm gonna mute you. Yeah. Go on. Now you're muted.
Yeah. Okay, I'm back. So now we're focusing on the automated trust. But if you think about it, if you'll come to our website and there will be thousands of automated trusts, it's equivalent to going to Uniswap and having 1,000 automated market makers that are not connected between them. So you don't really have a network, you have a lot of standalone pairs. So what we're actually building today is a lot of standalone pairs. But you can imagine how much of a horrible experience it is to come to Textile, where you can provide credit lines, and you have 1,000 different credit lines that you can provide, and you need to start guessing where you should be putting your money. And number, like, what are you gonna look? Even if the numbers are perfect, everything is on chain, it's still a headache. So,
have you heard of AI agents?
It's the thing is exactly. It's about programmable credit. Once you have all the data and all the data is on chain and everything is organized and verified, you can go to your AI and tell them, well, create me a pool of companies whose assets under management is $10 million, who haven't missed a payment over the last 2 years, at least across 7 different countries and 3 different sectors, and make sure it's only underwriters who are the underwriters of the pool are only underwriters who have been underwriting at least 3 deals in the past that went successfully, and rebalance the pool, this index that we've just created, every 3 months based on some parameters. It's about your ability to create a programmable passive
so that's
investment.
you said that's you're deploying that next month?
Yes, then next week. Why next month? Always 2 weeks. Always 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Always 2 weeks. So this is the what we're aspiring to. It's about turning.
I mean, that's the future. Yes.
It's turning private credit into a passive investment tools. Today, private credit is built of one-off bets. You need to decide what is more risky and more profitable: microfinance, float capital, or invoice-backed lending. We need to turn that to an experience that is more similar to investing to S&P 500. For the sake of the example.
Yes, S&P 500 investing's done well.
So the equivalent for private credit. That's
And so, what's the biggest challenge you're facing now?
So few things. The biggest initial challenge we had was once we tried to go over a more for wide spectrum. There is a bit of a trust gap that still exists between the real world and the crypto world. Even if you do everything as compliant as possible and as clean as possible, there's still a trust gap. That's why we kind of neglected the not going after non-crypto needs in the private credit sector. So that's the first problem that's been solved, and we see quite immediate impact to it. Like since we launched the TVL being $500,000, and the call just for this call is our first like $5 million coming in for the specific problem I just showed you of TVL. So we already see the reactions
And that's
of
crypto native.
Crypto native. The problem is literally people are getting USDT. They need to go to get to COP.
Yep.
It's like a crypto problem that needs to be solved. So there's no trust issues between the parties. So
There are probably going to be more of those.
There's hopefully enough of those. So that's the latest why I didn't sleep at night. I assume after the little rush of, oh my God, this is working in like 3 days, I'll find a new reason why not to sleep at night. As should be. But that's exciting. We're already getting from few big debt funds. So $5 million first, like now supposed to be signed, and we have 3 debt funds that are on the line searching for similar deals. So this is the exciting side of that. What else? Well, another thing that I find problematic, and it reminds me a lot of automated market makers first days. I'll say that. I don't know if everybody remembers, but today we take for granted the fact that liquidity used to be a problem before anyone can bootstrap the liquidity. But back in the days, when you talked about liquidity, it sounded insane. I think everybody remember the famous Amin, the founder of Avalanche. Amin, what's his name? Amin.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Tagore?
Amin Tagore. So he's the founder of Avalanche today. Back then, when Banco published the white paper,
oh yes, no, he raked it over the coals.
He killed them. He called the liquidity problem the problem of the itsy bitsy spider. That's the actual sentence that he used to say why liquidity is not a problem. Then there's no need.
It was ridiculous. It was totally ridiculous. What a fucking asshole.
Oh, and it's okay, because when you talk to the market makers back then, when we talk to all of the market makers, they looked at that and they say, well, this is too simple. Like, this will never work. Like, you know how complicated market making is, that you think it's just going to happen on a curve? And I'm experiencing flashbacks, because now, I want to talk to the experts. So I go and I talk to the big debt fund, and a lot of before we went to the more blockchain native, so this is easier for people to digest, I had the same thing of, the importance of a trust, what a trust is needed. Trust is a complicated thing. And I'm like, no, it's a waterfall of payment. It's a decision of what payment needs to come after another. Like, we've been there. So that's another thing. Like, first of all, how to explain to crypto people why a trust is needed.
There's a very famous quote by Upton Sinclair. He's a writer in the 1920s. And he said, it's very hard to get a man to understand something if his job depends on him not understanding it.
Exactly. So it's this gap again of sounding insane, which I enjoy, I embrace, but it's if you want to really change fundamentals of the market, you need to find someone who really understands both sides in order to really enjoy the vision that you see. So that's another thing that is on my mind.
But he actually, I remember, he wrote literally, it was like the 30 reasons why Bank is a scam. Literally. And then he and all his I remember they were all bad reasons.
All weird. That and liquidity was not a problem. The same as, I'm getting today, people telling me, no, the trusts are great. Keep the trust alone. Don't touch that.
Who are the market leaders in trusts?
So I think the market leaders, there's few market leaders today, but nobody is trying to replace the trust. Every other private credit company are tokenizing trust, which there is a very big difference. They say, well, let's set up a legal trust and then create a representation of that on chain. Okay, so let's talk about
that. Sounds like there's some additional risk there.
it's the initial step, but it's still good. They're making great products. So there's two sides that needs to be discussed. So there's the tokenization side, and then there is the more direct lending side to look at. I think both are interesting. So if we look at the right side, which is tokenization of private credit, you can look at Midas, Pareto, Credit Coop, all doing great job. And I'll go again, the difference between me and them is one, self-service tokenization. The biggest videos website before YouTube was Yahoo Videos. Yahoo Videos had all the best videos in the world. YouTube said anyone can upload a video. On all those websites, they are the curators of which assets you can participate in. Textile allows anyone to do it. They tokenize legal trust. We try to replace the legal trust. So this is on that side. On the left side, we have the direct lending that is also a booming market. I think a very interesting company to look at is ARF, ARF. So ARF is a lender that is lending to cross-border payments, doing an amazing job. I think Zinc is a great company to look at that is also doing quite an interesting job in the space.
Is everybody on Ethereum, or is there...
No, I think I have to say, as a big Ethereum holder, I'm disappointed with the lack of understanding of Ethereum ecosystem to the size of that problem. Like each and every one of those started on Ethereum and was kidnapped by Solana. Each and every one of them. Which Solana did a great job of identifying this market that they wanted to take over, and they did a good job there. The tokenization side is...
I know a guy who's going to be doing one of these featured guests in a few weeks that Robin talked about at the beginning. Kyle Rojas was just hired to run institutional for the Ethereum Foundation. He actually just threw an event. The Ethereum Foundation just threw an event, for institutions in New York. So I think they're aware of the problem and throwing resources at it.
Well, that's the time. I can say a lot about my opinions about the Ethereum community, but I'll leave that alone.
Well, there's a great saying. If you don't have something nice to say about someone, come sit next to me.
Exactly.
I think Joan Rivers said that. Well, look, I mean, it's an exciting journey you're on. You come in here, you're talking to the community, and any things you want them kind of to leave them with at a really kind of macro level. I mean, it sounds like what you're really doing is replacing the trust, decentralizing like this whole concept of it doesn't have to be this complicated thing, and
exactly.
Anybody can
it's about replacing the trust structure with automated trust. This is the core depth of it. And if anyone wants to support, next time you talk to your friend who's building an on and off ramp or any one of those, ask him, do you have a float problem? Maybe you need to open automated trust, and refer them to Textile.
No.
Well, cool. Robin, thanks a lot, Tomer. That was excellent.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tomer. That was very entertaining, and we learned a lot out of that. So thank you, and it sounds super useful. And so thanks a lot to you, and thank you to Alan and Lou and to Lilia for co-hosting with me, making my job a lot easier. And thanks very much to everybody who attended, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one. We'll send out the invites as and when they're confirmed. Thanks very much. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you.
Appreciate having you all here.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers, guys.